All right. Wow. This one was some time ago. This was around the time of our hiatus point. Epic Games fined more than $500 million over Fortnite's unfair microtransaction practices. FTC claims that Epic Games tricked players with deceptive settings practices. Okay. Epic responds. So the idea is design tricks to dupe millions of players into making unintentional purchases. Record-breaking settlements, blah, blah, blah. I'm just trying to get to the... Fortnite uses privacy-invasive default settings and deceptive interfaces that trick players. The FTC is pretending like they care for people for a few seconds. These dark patterns include tricking players into making unintended in-game purchases through a counterintuitive, inconsistent, and confusing button configuration, including being charged while waking up from sleep mode. Okay. That's like... How does that even happen? Also says that account holders can be charged without authorization and that children have racked up hundreds of dollars in charges before parents were aware of what was happening. Yeah, can I just pause for a second? Hundreds of dollars? I know that is a lot, like, for people, but, like, maybe they could have picked, like, thousands to make it sound worse. Hundreds is still bad. I'm not discounting hundreds. On that front, the FTC says that Epic ignored more than 1 million user complaints over wrongful charges while purposefully obscuring cancel and refund features. Yeah, some games, like, I hate when games do this, by the way. Like, obscuring or making refund features difficult to find or making it, like, counterintuitive or just not allowing it. I fucking hate it because I know exactly what they're doing. And I'm like, okay, guys, look. Let's just stop the bullshit. Gotcha game, Diablo Immortal. I just want a refund. Can I just please get a refund? But we'll give you negative crystals.
They're trying to make you, like, decide to yourself that it's, like, too much hassle to get your refund, so you just eat it. So you just eat it, basically.
I hate it. Like, the Diablo Immortal thing being the worst is, like, I hate it. Voice chat settings in Fortnite, by the way, are also being looked at. So there's there's no according to this, there was no setting for opting into voice chat. Specifically because, you know, you got kids playing this, you know, you got kids playing Fortnite.
Lots of kids.
You got kids playing. So but the company resisted turning off the feature, you know, forcing people to try and opt in and out, even as children were harassed, including sexually, while playing the game. Fortnite will be required to disable voice chat and text communications for children and teens under 13 years old, or for parents to provide consent through the privacy setting. Epic must also delete personal information gathered from users in violation of the COPPA rule and to establish a comprehensive privacy program. Oh, they weren't fucking doing that? Oh. Ooh. That's bad. Ooh. Ooh. Lengthy response. I don't even know if I care about their response. All game developers should rethink, and noting that it implemented a high privacy default setting in September. Epic also listed. It's just like
This is BS. It's BS. Like they knew what they were doing.
They knew what of course they do. You know what
they knew what they were doing. Give me a freaking break.
You do.
Like, that's complete BS.
Like, it is. It's they knew it too. They know exactly what they're doing. I mean, like,
they know they're being deceptive and they're scamming people, and like they know it. Like, come on.
Exactly.
It's all designed. Like, these days, these companies they're too smart in the practice of making money. They know how to, like, scam and deceive people and get people to keep playing and get people to spend and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, the games are designed intentionally to do these things.
Right.
Like, they know what they're doing on this front. Like, that's ridiculous.
No company accidentally does some of these things, by the way. You don't accidentally be like, oh, whoopsie. Whoops. You can't refund. Whoops. It's like,
yeah.
If it was a bug that millions of people were complaining about, you'd have fixed it. A million is not a tiny number. A million people complaining about something, you'd fix it. Like that sounds like that sounds serious. You'd fix it. But they didn't. Instead they're like, oops. Whoops. Sorry. Oh, are we storing privacy data for kids? Oops.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they intentionally do that.
Obviously the fine sounds like a lot. It's 500 million or something, which
that's
that's a drop in the bucket to Fortnite and Epic. So
Scrooge McDuck over at Fortnite's like, oh, really? It's a lot, but it's just like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, let me dig your 500 million out from my money pool. Hold on.
Let me just get it out of the money pool.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna dig this out of my swimming pool of cash. Yeah, I mean, it is 500 is a lot. 500 million is a lot, obviously, but it's just like in the grand scheme of things, Fortnite makes like billions a month. Like, let's be real. Maybe not billions, but I don't know actually, but like billions is not something that Fortnite is.
It makes billions in a year, I'm sure.
It makes billions in a year. Yeah, not billions, but like billions in a year, I think is definitely a fair number. I mean, Genshin makes freaking piggy bank billions in months. I think that's something. But like, yeah, Fortnite's the same way. It's like, oh, this is like a massive cash cow still. As much as people say like Fortnite is dead or whatever, this is still a cash cow.
Yeah. Come on.
So anyway, like, yeah, my only response to this is like, Epic does this. They did it on purpose. Companies don't just go, oopsie, we stored a 13-year-old's privacy data so that we could use it to come out with the best new skin that they'd have to buy.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me that they didn't know they were doing that. They knew that. They know it.
They knew they were doing it.
I'm sure somebody at the company alerted them to this, and you know what? Somebody in a suit walked up and said,
it's fine.
Seems fine to me. And it's just, that's how it goes. I mean, really, that's what happens.
I would hope if their lawyers knew what they were doing, that they would have told them about all these things that they were doing in the game that were illegal, and that, the suits at the top were like, no, it's fine, leave it.
I know this will shock you, but you'd be surprised at the number of companies that literally don't give two shits about privacy data.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They're like, privacy data? You mean that thing that generates us millions upon possibly billions of money? Facebook, if you said privacy data to Facebook, Zuckerberg fires you. He just fires you.
I was gonna say he'd laugh in your face. He'd laugh in your face, like spit at your feet and then fire you.
He'd spit at you and then fire you. Be like, we don't. That's not a word in our dictionary. There's like a Facebook dictionary, and it's like a privacy. Privacy has actually been blacked out. There's like, no, that doesn't exist. Not here. Yeah, all these companies, like, privacy data for them is like the bottom of the barrel concern. They don't give two shits. They just don't.
Because they make too much money off of
exactly. Like, you think
selling your data to ad distributors, and whoever else.
Which is why every time Google's like, we care about you. Like, no, you don't. Just don't lie to me. Like, one of these days, I'm gonna get freaking Google to actually admit, they're like, we don't really give two shits about your privacy data because we make money off of it. And I'll be like, okay, you sold me. Thank you. Finally. Finally, you've admitted it.
You've admitted it.
I just want them to admit it once. Be like, yeah, we don't care. We're definitely following you around the internet.
The thing is, if they admit it, though, then they just get sued to high hell.
Of course they do.
They can't admit it.
Of course, but God help me, I hope they do. I hope we get it. I hope one day we get it.
If Google or Amazon or any of these big companies came out and like said something like that and actually admitted it, like every lawyer in the country would be like, "Ooh, we got them now, boys."
Lawyers would be like, "Wow, they did okay." They'd be like, "Time to buy a third house."
Let me get on that train. Like,
time to get my third house, maybe. I've always wanted one on Lake Tahoe.
Every lawyer in the country just gets an instant hard on. It's just like
immediate erections. Oh man. Anyway, I'm not particularly surprised. So, 500 million, like it. Yeah, it's a big fine, but Fortnite. They don't care. Epic don't care. So, okay.
They sure don't.
We have one more bit of news coming from Spoon himself, from Resident Evil 4 speedrun drama.
Yeah.
Spoon, you're gonna have to give all the details for this. But I just want to say, I said it before the podcast. I love going back to high school, so let's do this.
So yeah, these posts are like the bottom one is the first post and the top
Okay.
one is the update.
I'm at the January 2nd one then. That's the bottom one.
Yeah. So this was January 2nd, which is what 5 days ago. So it was Monday. And yeah, I saw this on Twitter. I didn't follow it that much, but I saw a lot of like tweets from speedrunners I follow on Twitter. Basically, they instituted a rule on the board, the Resident Evil 4 board, of like a minimum time. If your run was above X time, and I don't know what that time, I don't even know what a good time in Resident Evil 4 is,
Right.
or what the time limit they set was, that your run would be automatically rejected, and any runs on the board that had that time previous, like a time above that previously, would just be removed. Removed from the board. Basically because, well, they say to save moderation time, which is significant considering how popular the game is and how long average runs are, let alone slow runs. To hopefully make people avoid doing casual runs and actually learn proper speedrun strats and routes, which is the whole point of speedrunning, and to make the boards look less cluttered and more competitive. That was their justification for the time limit.
Okay.
And people were pissed. They're like, I mean, even people not within this community are like, yeah, this is stupid. Like, you can't, like... Like, you know... Some people like just want to do it for fun, basically, and don't care about getting a super competitive time or whatever, and you shouldn't take their you know, you should let them compete in the way they want to compete, or not even compete, just like be a part of the board. And that, to me, it's like the mods are just lazy. Like, if you don't have the time to be a mod, step down from being a mod and let somebody else do it. Like,
yeah, that's fair. Or have more. Are mods being paid?
Yeah, no.
Then what's who cares? Add more. Add more. What is this? That already is the dumbest thing. Like, you're not paying your mods anyway. They're not employed.
Well, I assume they're not paid. I don't know for sure, but my assumption, like 95%, they're not paid. They just do it because they're part of the community and they do what they do.
I'm gonna assume they're not paid. I'm gonna assume they're not paid.
Same.
I don't think speedrun.com is that popular, so I'm gonna assume they're not paid. As popular as maybe we think it is, I don't think it's popular enough where anybody's getting paid, frankly. I'm with Ghost. How about just bring more mods? How about just bring on a few more? Just say, hey, we're seeing a lot of interest in the game. We're gonna need 2 more.
Yeah, and I saw this take as well, that like, if a person has a crappy time, like, and again, not to, you know, crap on people who don't have good times, but like, if a person has like not a very good time, if they like, who cares? Like, if they, you don't need to watch the whole video if you're a mod. I'm sorry, just like skim through it, check a few things, and verify it. Like, if they cheated, who cares? It's not like they're competing for like a super top time. Yeah. Like, they're slow. Who cares? They like even if they did cheat, like, okay, it's not great to have cheaters on your board, but like, nobody goes to, like, okay, I won't say nobody, but very few people, I would assume, goes to the Resident Evil 4 boards and watches the 76th time on the board if they're trying to learn the speed run. No, they're gonna watch the one at the top, the world record, right? Like, or the top couple.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody cheated somewhere near the bottom of the leaderboard, who cares? Like, just let it go. Like,
yeah. And also, I just want to point out, if you cheated and are at the bottom of the leaderboard, you're a terrible fucking cheater.
Yeah, that's true.
You might be the worst cheater in existence if you're doing that.
And like,
not to say it's good, but.
And again, like, I think it's really it's much more likely for someone at the top of the leaderboards to be a cheater,
right? Because
they want to compete for the best time, so they're gonna cheat because they want to get the best time, than for them to like cheat to be able to like complete the run and get a low tier time.
Right.
Like, it's just,
Yeah, I don't understand that either. But like, I'm trying to think of this from their perspective. To say the first thing they started with, usually for me, like if I have like bullet points, I know they're unordered in this case because it's not 1, 2, 3. But like
Well,
the first one I look at is usually the one I think is the highest priority.
for
So
the mod D, yeah.
so I'm like, the first thing they say is to save moderation time, which is considerate. Okay. And how long average runs are. I don't know the average run time for this video game.
I mean, you could go to the board and see what the times
Yeah,
look
I'd
like.
love to see like what the top. Where's the board here for this?
Scroll.
Leaderboards. It's an hour and I'll say like
hour and a half for a good time. Like
I'll say hour and a
bottom
half
is
to
like
2.5 hours.
Yeah, an hour and a half to I mean the bottom's like this isn't even that popular. There's 35 times. Like
maybe
Mario...
like Easy has more. What's segmented? This is PS4. New Game
I mean,
Plus.
there's a couple other ones. There's like Steam as well. Like
I don't know what the de facto run
that's
is.
just one. That's just one. Okay, there's a lot of consoles. Okay, maybe this is more popular than I thought. But like, GameCube was the original.
Sorry, I'm like trying to figure out what are people playing on. I'm like desperately trying to figure out what people are playing on. Is like Easy the mode people do? Like I'm so confused. New Game Plus,
Yeah,
Separate Ways Plus, Assignment, Ada. Like
I would assume the one on the left is the most popular category than the new game.
yeah, and also PS4 since that was the. This
Default.
isn't that many runs. Is there like one mod? Is one mod complaining? Is this what's going on? Like, is it just one mod that's like really upset that they have to spend time looking at it? Because if it's if it's one mod, like I'm like kind of understanding, I guess, but like man, like
It's Resident Evil. I assume they have at least like 5 or 6 mods. Like
doesn't seem like that many runs. Am I crazy? This didn't seem like that many. None of them had like pagination. It didn't look like the infinite scroll went too far. If it was that,
I mean, it's not like Super Mario Odyssey when that game came out. That game had hundreds of runs, and like new game for Mario Odyssey is like now it's like an hour, but like early on it was like an hour and a half to 2 hours, something like that. So it was like this, like
so like, okay, can I be mean?
And I'm sure Mario has more mods than Resident Evil does because Mario's like one of the most popular things on speedrun.
Yeah.
But like
I'm gonna be mean. Either they have like 1 or 2 mods, or they're just
really lazy.
I think they're just lazy. Like I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, mods of speedrun.com's Resident Evil 4. I'm not seeing a ton of runs.
And again, if you don't have if you like were a mod because you've been a mod for like this game's old, it's been out for a long time. If you've been a mod for a while and your life has gotten busy and you don't have time for it anymore, fine, step down from being a mod and get somebody else. Like,
yes, thank you. Just do something. Just go get some extra people. Go get like 1 or 2 extra people. At first I was like, okay, maybe there's hundreds upon hundreds of runs in every category, and I'm like, okay, like.
I mean, between all the consoles and all the categories, there is probably a couple hundred runs, but like,
probably, but like that's between all of them. I was thinking like maybe like the certain popular consoles had like.
It looked like the most popular category on the most popular console, which is PS4, new game, was 35 runs, which is like not that bad.
Yeah, it's not, or they're not showing all of them. I really don't know. It's hard to say.
I'm pretty sure I'm sure Kingdom Hearts 2 has way more runs than that.
Right. I'm like gonna see. Like,
and that run is 3 hours.
Like here's Odyssey. Like look at this shit. It has pagination to 18 pages.
There's like thousands of runs.
There's
of Odyssey.
thousands. Like, are you kidding me?
3,000. Oh my god, 3,500 runs,
So
3,570.
you're telling me Resident Evil 4, you can't handle like
35.
35. I'm
Or maybe a few hundred at the most, but like it's not like 200 runs are coming in every day or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna be mean. These guys are lazy. It's like, or it's two people, and they're just like, I don't want to spend any more time doing like watching a like 3 hour run. I don't want to spend time on it anymore.
and
I don't
make
want
the
to.
boards less cluttered and more competitive.
There's no clutter.
There's no
Where's
clutter.
the clutter?
Mario Odyssey has 18 pages. They have 3,000 runs on their
Where's
board.
the clutter? That should have been the first comment. It's like, where? Where is it? There's no clutter.
I didn't look this deep when I looked at this story, so I'm glad we're doing this. Like this oh my god, this makes him look really stupid. Like,
this is a joke. This is a joke. What clutter? There's no clutter. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like the. Oh god, we're going in on these mods, but good god, like. Also, good lord.
News. If you click news, that goes back
There.
to the post.
Wait, these are the only 2 news articles? That's impossible. They must have reset the news.
Yeah, maybe.
The rule has been removed and all rejected runs have been re-verified. On top of that, off-topic, clearly rude, jokey replies on the rules have been deleted. Oh, come on! I wanted to read some of those. I wanted to read the one that had our freaking conclusion of what clutter.
Yeah, I mean these guys were getting. I didn't see any, but like I didn't look deep enough. But like most of the posts that I saw were just people, retweeting and being like, yeah, this is just a brain dead decision by lazy jerks that like.
Oh my god.
You don't make the game more competitive by removing runs
Exactly.
from the board.
I love it. I love it. I love this. This is perfect. This is what I needed in my day. I really needed to laugh a bit. So this was great. Like I appreciate this. I really wish I was.
Speedrun drama is always good for
like,
a good laugh.
This is freaking hilarious. Hold on, I want to see if there's anything on Twitter about this.
I mean, it was like earlier this week because again, I guess this rule came out on Monday. There was backlash, and I'm pretty sure they rescinded it on that second post was on Wednesday on the 4th. So
here's a tweet that I just found. One of them got removed. It was a run that was 30 minutes off world record. A run
it was like a 2-hour. It was like a 2-hour run, basically.
Right. So if it was 30 minutes off world record, it got removed.
Yeah.
Played on PC. Okay, let me see if I can find this person's.
PC is a separate board for some reason. It's not in that This is the console. One. Go to Resident Evil. Like if you click on Resident Evil series. Yeah. Okay.
I see Steam.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe this leaderboard is big. Maybe this is the leaderboard people were talking about.
This is the big one.
This is bigger.
158.
It's one page.
It's still. I mean, it's 158's a lot.
Oh, there's a 30 FPS version. Okay. Well, 60 FPS, normal. Okay, I'm just trying to see. I think you're right. Professional was the bigger. Yeah, it's professional. So professional single segment had 158. So if you were 30 minutes off world record, which was
this is 119, so it's 149.
Okay. So if you were like 30 minutes off of that, you got removed.
149 or worse.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find. Yeah, if you were here.
It's like you have to go down pretty far.
Yeah.
It's only like the bottom 20 or so.
What a dumb policy. The run is too slow to be on the board. Since January 2nd, there is a limit to how slow a run can be to be verified. You can check the sticky post of the form for more information. This person had a run for over a year, and they removed it. Like they had verified it and then unverified it.
This feels like this was more work to implement this policy than actually just letting all runs be on the board. Like,
yeah.
And also, it like it prevents people from wanting to learn the run because like your first run is not gonna be good. Like,
they have the Discord, note here. Let me just kind of read some of it. This is after they had mentioned that they, rolled back on the changes.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning that we've received a significant amount of insults, harassment, and overall passive-aggressive jokes towards the mod team as a result of this problem. Okay. Let me just... Insults, harassment, after, though that stuff obviously can be really serious. Passive-aggressive jokes. Why'd you add this? Like, those two are, like... It's a passive-aggressive joke. Like, if you're going to be really hurt to the point where you got to add passive-aggressive jokes, I don't think you should be on a mod team. Like, you got to have thick skin for a mod team and, like, customer service. And anybody that does that, I do feel sympathy for them, just because they have to go through a lot of shit.
Yeah. If you're a mod in a relatively big community like Resident Evil, Mario, Zelda, obviously, Kingdom Hearts is pretty big as well. Like, the drama happens, and you got to be ready for it. Like, you got to have thick skin, as you said. Like,
so by the way, the reaction is just a thumbs down. The one reaction is just like, fuck you. There's just one reaction that's just like, get out of here. Which has absolutely no place in this community nor any other, no matter how big our mistake has or hasn't been. Toxicity of this caliber will warrant message deletions and potentially bans. The only exception we'll be making to the above are runs that show clear and irrefutable evidence of not attempting to complete the game fast, such as collecting in-game documents, watching cutscenes you're supposed to skip, taking breaks without pausing. Okay, so they're just like, if you're playing a casual playthrough, you can't upload it. Which, can I just be honest? If you see it's a casual playthrough, just accept it, and who cares? And like,
yeah.
You're not...
Like,
okay, like, I gotta say this because I feel like, I know it's the mod team, but like, from a data storage perspective, you're not storing media on your website. So it's not like, if they were storing an entire media file, I would say, yeah, don't do that. Like, don't have a 10-hour gameplay thing uploaded. You're not storing the entire file. You're storing a URL that is embedded into your website. So it's not a storage issue. The only issue it presents is just, it's sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard. Who cares? I don't know why I feel this way, but like, I think you had mentioned before this. Who cares? If you see it's like 8 hours, just be like, okay, but this is gonna be the bottom of the leaderboard. But okay, if you just want to be there, I suppose.
Like, just make sure, like, watch the beginning and like click through it. Make sure they didn't do anything that's against like the rules on the board. Like if it's a single, like some of these, if it's single segment, it has to be single segment. So if they like stop the game or whatever, anyways. And make sure they like actually finish the game at the end and then verify it. Like, okay, fine. Like,
as long
it's 8
as
hours. It's 8 hours. Who cares?
Following the rules, fine. And like, I think I can get like, okay, we don't want casual playthroughs on speedrun.com, but like, you're not storing anything. The only thing you're storing is the fact that the person just put it up there. Like, I don't know. I don't think it compromises speedrun.com's like overall like purpose or integrity. It doesn't. It's just like, okay, well, somebody put their casual playthrough up and it was slow. Who cares? We're not going to watch that anyway. Like, somebody just wants to like feel like they're on a leaderboard somewhere, like whatever.
Also, just so just for context, like, I'm looking at Kingdom Hearts right now. Kingdom Hearts 2, the most popular category, any % English,
sure,
beginner console. 60 FPS, so like PS4 basically. This run is around 3 hours. 3 hours is actually a good run. but
Mhm.
like between 3 and 3.5 hours is like a solid to mediocre run, and less than that is pretty slow. This has 158 runs on it, so it's about the same as
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4, and the run is twice as long, more than twice as long,
Yeah.
actually. Like,
I don't know. I'm like, I think that like the point we've made our point, obviously. Um, I think this mod team, you know, you shouldn't harass them or anything like that, like to a personal level. I think you can tell them that they made a bad decision. I think you're within your right to do that. I think you can tell them that you'd like them to make go back to the way it was, sure, and say that like your opinion on it, but in a respectful way. There's a respectful way to say something. And I know that we're kind of bashing on them because I think they're lazy and stupid and it's a fucking bad decision. But like to their face, I'd probably just say like, hey, this is a bad idea. You should go back. I just be honest about it. This seems like really silly, and frankly, my advice would be go hire a few more mods and maybe step down. If this might not be your cup of tea, that's fine. This isn't your job.
Or again, maybe you were into it in the past and you've been a mod for a few years and you don't have time for it anymore. Fine, step down and get somebody else to do it.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's fine. It's just this the wording and the decision itself just seems really poor. So anyway, I'm sorry. I have nothing else to add. I'm just like, this is hilarious.
Yeah, no, we've been over it. Again, they went back on it pretty quickly. It only took a couple of days after the backlash, and they were like, yeah, okay, we get it. We this was a bad call.
Oh yeah, that really silly decision. Really silly decision making process.
Also, I feel like they should have like vetted it first. They should have like put out like, hey, we're thinking about doing this, what do you guys think, seen the reaction, and then been like, okay, we're not going to do that, instead of like doing it, getting backlash, and then going back on it. Like,
it doesn't
like
this, but a lot of people don't understand that's what you should be doing. It's like, it's surprising how many people just don't get that, like, when you make decisions, you should ask for feedback on those decisions first, because then you can avoid a lot of extra work, right? Like, they had to unverify stuff and re-verify it. That's work. You could have just put out a post initially and said, here's some changes we're thinking of making. Tell us what to think. And people also wouldn't probably have not harassed them. They probably would have just said, hey, I don't think it's a good idea. Here's why. I don't think they would have gotten harassment. I don't think they would have gotten
you might have had a little bit of harassment, like, hey, you guys are stupid, like, this is a horrible decision,
sure.
like f you, stuff
yeah
like that.
I mean, there's and people will do that, but I also think people appreciate being asked. Yeah. Generally speaking, I think people appreciate being asked their thoughts and opinions.
As opposed to things just happening. And
right.
People being mad and having,
Which is one of the things that, I wish people would do more often, but they don't. Or they get a diluted pool of responses from, like, their own inside team. And it's like, that's not an opinion. That's your own. You're hive minding yourself. That doesn't work. As a way to generate good ideas and feedback. Anyway, yeah, poor decision making. Ask for feedback. Don't just do things without getting some second opinions. All right.